I'm Sarah Silk. I have run on various boards and commissions and committees since 1986. I've been on the Land Use Section, Conservation Commission, where I'm currently an alternate. I've chair of the Agriculture Commission. I served 13 years on the Board of Selectmen, 3 in the early 90s, and then again from 2005 to 2015. I've got 33 years of experience with the Lakes Region Household Hazardous Product Facility, where I'm in charge of household hazardous waste and medications, so I've probably seen you there. Currently, I'm running for the Zoning Board of Adjustment. I was appointed to the ZBA in 2015, and then I was elected to the ZBA in 2019. The ZBA processes cases presented to them, weighing the rights of the landowner with those of the public. We have variances, that which is not ordinarily allowed, that will not be contrary to the public interest, is in keeping with the spirit of the ordinances that have been passed by the voters. Values of surrounding properties will not be diminished. Essential character and neighborhood integrity will not be violated, all while weighing any unique special conditions of the property, if they do indeed exist. Special exceptions are also processed by the ZBA. Those are things which are allowed under certain circumstances as specified in the local zoning ordinances that have been voted in by all voters. Many are processed, many applications pass with conditions, a few are denied, some are revised and resubmitted. ZBA members are held by state law to a juror's standard for conflict of interest. Review processes are very formalized by RSAs. We have the revised statutes annotated, lots of pages in very small print, a lot to absorb. You need to know about right to know, and the process for applications is often complicated, such that a broad base of knowledge and state regulations is essential. Experience with the ability of the local community to sustain services, familiarity with neighborhood integrity, master plan goals, environmental concerns, and being cognizant with myriad other criteria are needed. I believe I have a very broad background with my many years of experience. Please give thoughtful consideration for voting for me for ZBA on March 8th at the Great Hall. Also, please consider voting again this year to continue to have the voters elect ZBA members. Voters vote for the ordinances, and I believe they should have the right to vote for the people that interpret them. I have a unique spot in that I have been both appointed, I have been voted in as a ZBA member, and on the Board of Selectmen, I appointed people to this board. I firmly believe that the vast majority should get a chance to vote in the people that interpret the zoning ordinances which the voters have voted for, rather than a small handful of people. Thank you so much. Please consider voting for me on the 8th of March. I thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom Zotti. I am running for a full 6-year term as the supervisor of the checklist here in Wolfeboro. I moved to Wolfeboro back 1987, and not terribly long after that began to serve as a ballot clerk at the request of our town clerk, Pat Waterman, and did that for several years, and a few years back had the opportunity, due to a retirement, I was appointed to fill out a part of a term to an election as a supervisor of the checklist. I then ran for the position to complete the term, so it was a 2-year term, and was fortunate enough to be elected. And I'm here today asking for your support to be elected to a full 6-year term. Supervisor of the checklist is maybe not one of the most thought about or popular or newsmaking positions in town government. But I've been able to learn a lot over the years. There's an awful lot of training that goes on. I've also been able to meet some terrific people, both on the board and in the general public, as we help them work through the voter registration process and maintaining the accuracy of the checklist. We do a fair amount of training. Most of it these days is online, but we have made trips to the Secretary of State's office in Concord and so forth, essentially to keep up with any changes in laws that govern the checklist itself and how it's maintained and who's eligible to be on it and that sort of thing. So again, in summary, I would be humbled to have your support for a full 6-year term as a supervisor of the checklist.
Hi, my name is Bob Tuffer, and I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. My wife, Pat, was also born and raised in the Bronx, and we've been married for almost 49 years. We lived on Long Island, New York, for 35 years, where we raised our 2 sons, Rob and Kevin. I was a police officer with the Nassau County Police Department for 26.5 years, and I retired in January of 2000. I am running for the Budget Committee once again for my 5th term, and this will be my last term. We've been coming to Wolfeboro for over 30 years, originally vacationing and then residing here for the past 14 years. Even though I am running unopposed, I wanted to take this opportunity to compliment everyone who worked on this year's budget and warrant articles. I know that town staff, the Board of Selectmen, and the Budget Committee did a terrific job in putting the town ballot together for our vote on March 8th. The warrant efficiently takes advantage of the American Rescue Plan, the New Hampshire State Revolving Fund, the Town Surplus Fund, and generous private donations on several of the warrant articles. The police and fire departments both need much more space than they have in the nearly 50-year-old public safety building, and hopefully the beginning of their journey will start with an affirmative vote on warrant article number 23. My personal goal is to see the Budget Committee continue our careful review of budgets and to see the town continue with the renovation and maintenance of our community. There are 240 taxing municipalities in New Hampshire, and only 29 towns have a lower tax rate than Wolfeboro. And that is the result of efficient government operation and planning. I appreciate your confidence with your votes over the years, and I look forward to serving the next 3 years on the Budget Committee. I thank Wolfeboro Community Television for putting this presentation together, and please consider casting your vote for Bob Tuffer on March 8th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brodie Deshaies, and I'm running for School Board Member at Large in the Governor Wentworth Regional School District. I may be young, but I do not lack experience. I served on the school board as a non-voting member in 2016 to 2017. I have previous experience serving on the school board and working relationships with all school board members. I am a workhorse and not a show horse, and I am dedicated to improving education in our community. I currently serve as one of Wolfeboro's 2 state representatives. As a state representative, I am the clerk of the Carroll County delegation, making me 3rd in line of command at county convention. The Carroll County delegation is our county's budget committee, consisting of our county's 15 state representatives. We approve all of Carroll County's spending and help formulate an operating budget in the tens of millions. Also, down in Concord, I am on the State, Federal Relations, and Veterans Affairs Committee. Soon, the Speaker of the New Hampshire House will be appointing me to a 2nd committee assignment, the Legislative Administration Committee. This is a testament to the hard work that I do serving the people of our community down in Concord. As a former student in the district, I have a passion for improving and perfecting our public education. Someday, I plan on raising a family in the Governor Wentworth Regional School District community. I want to see our schools succeed and continue to improve. I want to give back to the community and the school district that has given me so much. I would have 5 overarching goals as your school board member at large. 1. Keep healthy students in school and keep students in school healthy. I support the school board's recent vote to unmask our community's children safely. 2. Improve curriculum and educational outcomes. We need to look at what New Hampshire's top schools do to improve test scores and education performance, and we need to promote these best practices within our school district. 3. Promote fiscal restraint and reasonable spending. Our school district tends to do this well, but we need school board members to continue being frugal. I have a proven record of fiscal responsibility in the state legislature and county convention. I have actually cut taxes. I'm the only candidate in the race that has done so. I will continue to defend taxpayers from wasteful or frivolous spending. 4. Improve dialogue with parents and teachers and solicit more feedback. I firmly believe we should increase the number of surveys we send to families. This provides the school board with a better idea of how parents and students feel about specific policies. We should also create joint committees with school board members, teachers, and parents to improve schools, curriculum, and pandemic response. We also need a comprehensive plan for dealing with teacher burnout that focuses on promoting better mental health and worker retention. 5. Improving school meal nutrition and allowing all students time to eat. I have been working on this issue as Wolfeboro state representatives, but we can do more locally to address this pertinent problem. I want us to create a farm-to-table program in our school district to source more food locally and teach our children about local agriculture and supply chains. Again, this is Representative Brodie Deshaies. I'm running for school board member at large, and I hope to earn your vote on March 8th. Thank you for watching, and I hope to earn your vote.
Hello, I'm Deborah Long-Smith, and I am campaigning to retain my position on the Library Board of Trustees. The library is a vital part of our community. The 3 years I have already served on the Board of Trustees have given me the opportunity to gain experience, learn about the working relationship between the library and the town, and about the state regulations pertaining to libraries and library trustees. Now I am looking for your vote to remain on the board. Since moving to Wolfeboro in 2018, I have been an active patron of the Wolfeboro Public Library and a member of the Friends of the Wolfeboro Public Library. In 2019, when I was appointed to fill an alternate position on the library board, I was thrilled. I will briefly summarize my involvement and dedication to this board for the last 3 years. The library was in the midst of its renovation and expansion when I started. The new building was literally being built around the existing library while the facility remained open for business. As a member of the board, I recognize our responsibility to maintain a safe environment for our staff and our patrons. Every board meeting contained discussion of contract costs, problems, and schedules, and I was there for all of it. The new building was open for only a week before the pandemic forced us to close. Board meetings moved to Zoom. We discussed how to deal with COVID-19, its financial and emotional impact. I was instrumental in developing policies and procedures to conform with the CDC recommendations. The original building committee recognized the community's need for meeting space and incorporated 4 meeting rooms into the design. These rooms are in high demand. As a trustee, I support the library being used as a venue for community meetings, art exhibits, and music. I helped write the application form and guidelines for using the public rooms. As a trustee, I supported the creation of a new staff position with the title IT Coordinator. This person is available to answer questions and assist our patrons with technology issues. In our virtual library, we have ebooks, audiobooks, online magazines, movies, and more. During the pandemic, these services grew in popularity. Patrons can use their own devices to access these resources from anywhere, at any time. In the fall of 21, the library director notified the board of her intention to retire in 2 months. We quickly formed a search committee, established goals, assigned tasks, and developed timelines. The board also created a management plan for the interim phase. This was an extremely busy time for us, and we met weekly instead of monthly. As a member of the search committee, I evaluated all the resumes submitted, attended all the virtual interviews, and participated in the interviews of the 3 finalists. The search committee selected Amanda King as our new director. Amanda and the trustees are working together to integrate her knowledge, experience, and ideas with our mission to generate connections, create community, and promote learning opportunities. As a trustee, I want to create value for voters, both inside and outside the building. We have a great library. However, after the building project was completed, we heard comments about it being a large building with no curb appeal. We addressed this concern in February 21 by forming the Library Landscaping Committee. As a result of their work, the committee submitted warrant Article 29 to the voters for their approval. The voting will be March 8th. This committee is composed of members from the Library Board of Trustees, the Wolfeboro Public Library Foundation, representatives from the town, and the general public. I am a member of this committee and currently serving as president of the Wolfeboro Garden Club. The goals of this committee include correcting unresolved site problems, making changes to hardscape that will improve access to the entrance, and addressing environmental concerns. With the help of the University of New Hampshire, the Landscape Committee hopes to establish a state-certified pollinator garden along the side of the building facing Route 28. The flowers in this garden will provide a welcome habitat for birds, butterflies, and fireflies, which will be observed and appreciated by those inside the building and those passing by. This work is being funded by the Library Foundation at no cost to the taxpayer. The Roman statesman and orator Marcus Cicero said, "If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need." Our vision is that by using the outdoor space for the educational programs and public gardens, we will provide what the community needs and wants. I will be attending the library's meet and greet reception for Amanda King on Thursday, March 3rd. This event is from 4 to 6, and all are welcome. This is an opportunity for you to share your interest and vision for the library with us. Light refreshments will be available. March 8th is Election Day. Please vote for me, Deborah Long-Smith, for a 1-year term, and please vote for Nancy Bell to allow her to retain her position on the Library Board of Trustees. She is doing a fabulous job as board secretary. Please vote for warrant Article 29. It is funded by donations, not taxes. And this is the warrant article concerning the landscaping. I appreciate your support. If you have any questions, you can contact me through the library. Remember to vote. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jim Pittman, the current school board member from Effingham, and I'm running for re-election. I'm originally from Connecticut, but I've lived in Effingham for 15 years. I recently retired, so in theory, I should have plenty of extra time, and we'll see. I'm also the chair of the Effingham Zoning Board of Adjustment as well. Currently, I'm the board vice chair, and I also serve on the Finance Committee. Recently, I participated in the Superintendent Search Committee. As you may know, Kathy Cuddy-Egbert is set to retire this year. And as a result of our efforts, we've brought forward a highly qualified new superintendent, Dr. Caroline Arkelian, to serve our district beginning in July. Public education is a bedrock component of our communities and provides not only a path forward for our children's future, but serves an important role in addressing the challenges of food insecurity, unsafe living conditions, and the special needs of a significant population of kids. Recently, we've seen public school systems targeted by legislative efforts to disempower our education system in favor of private schools. So-called freedom accounts are taking taxpayer dollars intended for our schools and funneling them to private schools with little or no oversight. While justified as a means for all students to choose the education they want, in reality, it amounts to a tax subsidy to higher income families at the expense of poorer ones. To add insult to injury, our State Commissioner of Education, Frank Edelblut, who should be advocating for our public schools, is fully behind these efforts. Disturbingly, a local legislator recently introduced a bill that aims to dissolve cooperative school districts such as ours. Imagine the negative consequences of this to all our member towns if this were to succeed. Without our participation in a cooperative district, we would be paying dramatically higher taxes, with the likelihood that the quality of education would be poorer. Sharing resources among our towns has resulted in a win for all involved. And most importantly, the investment in our children is being effectively served. Academic performance, particularly in math, needs to improve. Thanks to ESSER funds, part of the Federal CARES Act, we've moved to close the learning gap through hiring additional teaching staff to improve mathematics performance. Improvement in learning performance has been identified as a primary goal for our new superintendent. Like all school districts nationwide, attracting and retaining teachers is proving to be a challenge. The district presently is seeing 30 positions unfilled because qualified candidates are just not applying. In addition to this, we'll be seeing an unprecedented number of longtime teachers and staff retiring at the end of this school year. Without good teachers, we cannot provide the education our children deserve, and this is an area that the board and the new superintendent will be paying special attention to. Any discussion of the school district quickly involves the tax burden to our communities. This year, the board has held the budget increase to 3.25%. I offer this as an achievement in the face of inflationary effects on virtually every aspect of running the district. Approximately 70% of our budget goes to wages and benefits, with major increases in the cost of health insurance and wage increases to remain competitive with other districts. Fuel cost increases will impact our transportation system that moves students to and from school. We will likely see utility costs go up, and the list goes on. Taxpayers should know that the board knows every penny spent must be an investment in our children and not wasteful. The past 2 years have been challenging, but there is hope that the path forward will bring the focus back to academic matters and away from often contentious debates over COVID protocols. I hope I'm deserving of your vote, and it is fully important that you exercise your right to vote on Tuesday. And may I also add, I'd like to support you voting for Brodie Deshaies for the at-large position as well. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, my name is Nancy Bell, and I'm here today to request the consideration of your vote in the upcoming town election for trustee of the Wolfeboro Public Library. I have served as an alternate to the Board of Trustees since July of 2020. I retired from Kingswood Regional High School as attendance secretary. I was looking for something worthwhile to do and a way to give back to the community. I'm a Wolfeboro native. I'm detail-oriented. I enjoyed working at Kingswood, keeping attendance records, and compiling yearly reports. I was asked to be the secretary for the Board of Trustees. This has been both challenging and rewarding. I hope to continue in this role. In 1954, my mother and father purchased the house on Forest Road where I continue to live. Of course, at the time the house was built in 1953, there was nothing but sand pits between our house and the carry. And the other side of the road was a huge apple orchard. It seemed huge to a little girl who used to hide in the apple sheds with her dog. I remember how exciting it was when Sewell Road was connected to Forest Road, and how I was able to ride my bike around the circle as a teenager. I'm a product of Wolfeboro schools, attending Carpenter and Kingswood. When I attended Kingswood Regional High School, there was no middle school. The junior high was a part of the high school. Mr. Lord and Mr. Baton were my English teachers, and I enjoyed going to school. Since my mother was a teacher at Carpenter School, I didn't have much choice. I attended UNH and Hesser Business College. I spent about 15 years living my life away from Wolfeboro before returning home to Mom in 1987. When I landed the job at KRHS as secretary to the assistant principal, I knew I had found my life's work. I loved the job and being with teenagers. I was happy. I stayed at KRHS for 31 years, retiring in June of 2020 as planned and not because of COVID. COVID did change my way of looking at my plans for retirement. I wanted to spend more time in my garden, and that worked. I wanted to travel, but that was not possible for me. So I started looking for opportunities and a way to contribute. And when I saw a posting in the Granite for an alternate to the Board of Trustees for the Wolfeboro Public Library, I was interested. I've been an avid reader all my life. My mother told me that I taught myself to read. I don't know how that is possible, but she was a first grade teacher, so I have to believe her. After contacting the library for details, I submitted a letter of interest for the position. Lucky for me, there were 3 candidates for 3 positions. I was accepted. I was excited. I joined the landscaping committee. That seemed like a natural fit for someone who loves to work in the yard, and attended WebEx meetings while getting to know other members virtually. As the months proceeded, we were able to start meeting in person in the Bradley Room at the library, where we could socially distance. With the advent of vaccinations, we felt more comfortable and happier to be able to meet together. When Cindy Scott announced her intention to resign as library director last fall, I became a member of the search committee. I'd been taking notes for the landscape committee, and now I added the search committee to my note-taking responsibilities. Due to changes in the makeup of the board, I was asked to be secretary to the board, and I signed up to fill that position until the election of new members in March. And that's where we are today. I'm very proud of the work of the trustees. The employees of the library are gems and do a wonderful job. They are amazing. And we're happy with our new library director, Amanda King, who came to us from Texas. The Wolfeboro Public Library offers something for all ages. There are lots of books in the children's section, including board books for toddlers. Themed storytime backpacks are available for preschoolers to take out. What's Happening weekly story times for toddlers and preschool are held for each group. Elementary story time for grades K to 6 with a craft, An art class and a project with Ms. Jeannie for ages 7 and up were held earlier in February. Lower elementary book chat and craft and upper elementary middle school book chat and craft are to be held during school vacation week. Teen book chat and crafts and board games for all are also scheduled during vacation week. Adult programs, including Tech Tuesday for one-on-one computer help with Mike Babylon, Second Tuesday book discussion, monthly, Mystery book chat, also monthly, Fourth Friday film series, which was featuring a classic from 1940 on February the 25th, Keep Calm and Carry Yarn for knitting or crochet buffs, and that would be something that I would be very interested in. Acoustic guitar jam, bring your guitar, have a good time. And second Monday's free coffee and donuts. The library has so much to offer. Books, naturally, magazines, videos, audiobooks, and ebooks, Hoopla and Overdrive for your electronic devices, free internet, Wi-Fi access, photocopier, scanner, and printing services. And if you haven't been in the library in a while, we really would love to have you come by. Or please at least check out the website, which is wolfeboro.library.org. Again, wolfeboro.library.org. A library card is always free for Wolfeboro residents. The library is not just books, although there are a lot of books. Newspapers are out if you just want to sit and check out the daily events. You can take home an audiobook, or if your vision is an issue, there are large print books. There's a nice selection of DVDs. I love the British shows. If you're into genealogy, then there's a room that's available for your use. Passes for free or reduced admission to various venues are available to Wolfeboro Public Library cardholders. AARP is offering free tax help every Thursday through April 14th. Call for an appointment, 569-2428. One more time, 569-2428. Computers and free internet are available for use, or you can bring your own. There's a puzzle exchange, and free books are available that you can keep as you enter the library. Upcoming events. We've received a grant which will be used for an imagination play space for children. A teen area is being developed. Coming in May, we are partnering with Brewster Academy for the 200 Women photographic exhibit of notable women, which will include our own Diane Foley. The summer reading program is now being planned. A community-wide read has been scheduled for May. There will be 10 towns participating, and sponsors include the Wright Museum, UNH, and New Hampshire Humanities. On May 17th, author Jamie Ford will be at the Wright Museum in Wolfeboro for a book club discussion on an overlooked period of American history, the incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II. Suggested books are available at the library. I am very excited about the landscaping plan for the site. There's a warrant article on the ballot this year which will allow the trustees to expend monies that are being raised by no donation to fund this project. No cost to taxpayers is something I appreciate. Donations are being accepted in a plan called the Greening of the Library. Contact the Library Foundation at president@wolfeborolibraryfoundation.org for more information, or you can contact the library. Donations could include trees, inspiration steps, bushes, pollinator plants, or cash. Large tributes will include a name plaque. Tribute plaques will be embossed with your name or the honoree's name. This will be a beautiful site available for community use. Bring a book and an iced coffee and sit outside and commune with nature. I can't wait to see it and the activities it attracts. There. I've stated my case. I like being involved with the library and would love to continue as your elected trustee. Please consider me when you cast your ballot. Thank you.
Hello, voters of Wolfeboro. My name is Jody Perrson, and I'm running for Selectmen on March 8th. I'm a conservative. I'm running for Selectmen because I would like to bring some fresh, new ideas to the select board and, you know, to the other selectmen and people in the town. I've lived in Wolfeboro for 17, 18 years. I've been a business owner in Wolfeboro, several different businesses for 20 years. I've seen a lot of changes in Wolfeboro over this last 20 years. I think the town, for the most part, is very good functioning town. I think it just has a few real problems with irresponsible spending. To give you let me explain myself about irresponsible spending. What I consider it is let's go back to the town hall renovation project. Engineers were hired to come up with an estimate and how to repair the town hall. That engineering firm came up with they came up with plans that was going to be too expensive. Basically, to do the building right, it was going to be too expensive for the friends of the town hall and the town of Wolfeboro. So they hired another engineer, and they took so $500,000 was spent on the first engineer. That was just thrown in the trash. They hired another engineering firm to do, so they could come up with the numbers that they needed to make the project go forward. And now we have a town hall where you're going to see, you've seen yourself, the slates falling off the roof, plumbing problems inside. That's just the beginning of those issues. But that's what I mean by irresponsible spending. So let's jump forward to today. Let me give you an example of irresponsible spending today. Would be Article 11 for the Pop Whalen. I believe the Pop Whalen is a very important building, arena, an ice rink for the community, for the children, for the adults, for everybody. The Article 11 Pop Whalen project started at $900,000 last winter. Then it morphed over the summer to, into the fall to $4.7 million. Then a bond hearing was set. They went to the hearing. For whatever reason, they had to move the hearing to the following week on the deadline to have Pop Whalen Article 11 in as a warrant article. And on that meeting, the price went to $6.9 million. I don't know how a project can jump from 4.7 to 6.9 in a week or two. I think that's it's just irresponsible. I'm not against the arena. We need that arena. I want to see the arena there. I want to see it renovated. That was one of the things. A lot of people don't know that an engineer, the first engineer they hired, came up with the structure could be saved and brought up to today's codes for $1.8 million. And somehow now that's morphed into, they hired another engineer, came up with a price of $4.7 million because the structure couldn't be saved. And then we had it jump from 4.7 to 6.9. This is when I talk about irresponsible spending. I think I'm not telling people to vote no or yes on this. I just want them to have the facts so they can make the proper decision. Other problems that arise in town is I see things, I mean, this is irresponsible spending. Like, one of the things is for on the warrant article is $250,000 for landscaping at the library, which I'm trying to get a handle on it because they say it's not going to impact taxpayers, but they want the money out of the general fund. So I just stuff like this, I don't understand how it's working. And I could go on in great length of other things that have gone on in the town of Wolfeboro that just are irresponsible. Not good decisions not being made. People need to slow down and really think things through. We're stuck with this. The Friends of the Living Museum can't come up with they haven't been able to come up with their money yet, and this is going on for a few years on the renovation of the Living Museum. Taxpayers' money sitting in the bank right now. The Friends of the Living Museum are struggling to get up their half. Is Pop Whalen going to turn into this kind of project? I would like to see Pop Whalen become a reality. I'm not against it at all. I just think sometimes you got to put the brakes on. You got to slow down, and you got to figure things out and instead of just trying to get them in and get them started. You know, it's just numerous things like that. I think the Friends of organizations is a great way to raise money, help pay for these projects. But I believe that they need to raise the money first, then come to the town to get a warrant article. I think it's just going on pledges that's not legally binding. That's, you know, well, you know, these are some of the issues that I'm running for selectman for. It's because I would like to give it a shot for 3 years, get a seat, get in there, and help better decisions being made. I would like to see the forgotten taxpayers of Wolfeboro, which is the rest of the community, not downtown Main Street and everything. I'd like to see them be represented. That's what I want to represent. I want to represent all citizens of Wolfeboro, but I want to try to bring the people that are, 95% of taxpayers in Wolfeboro. They want to live in this town, but they don't want to see this irresponsible spending. And so my name is Jody Perrson, and I hope you can vote for me. Help me so I can help you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brad Harriman. I'm running for re-election for the Board of Selectmen. Tell you a little bit about myself. I was raised in Wolfeboro here. Went through public school system, Carpenter School, Kingswood. Went off to college, came back, worked in the family business, construction business, building roads and water sewer lines. I'm married, have 2 daughters. We raised our children here, went through the school systems also, and have 4 grandchildren. So what do I bring to the table? I bring about 50 years of experience in road building, drainage, utility work, water sewer lines, all that kind of stuff like that, installation and repair of those. And I'm also a retired public works director. So my strengths are definitely in the public works side of town operations. And let's see, Wolfeboro has been very proactive in upgrading its infrastructure. Some of the things that have been going on is our wastewater treatment plant. Recently, a few years ago, just won an award for the best small treatment plant in the state of New Hampshire. So kudos to our departments there for all the work they've done in keeping that facility running well and upgraded. Some of the other things we've been proactive in. We have our RIB site up and running again now. As a lot of people know, that system, we had issues with it when it was first built. We spent a lot of time figuring it out and getting it repaired, and it is now up and running again. And we also have a thing we call I&I, which is infiltration and inflow into our sewer system. This is some of our older portions of the system have leaks in them, and it lets a lot of groundwater infiltrate into the system, which leads to excess water that we need to treat at the plant and dispose of up at the RIB site. So by eliminating a lot of that I&I, the groundwater coming into it, would allow us more room for expansion of the system itself for customers to come online with it. And also our sewer pump stations in town, we've started engineering processes on those. We have 2 that we're going to rebuild, 2 of our major ones, one on Lena Street, one on Mill Street this coming year. And we have engineers working up specs for our other outlying pump stations so we can put those into a plan in the future to get those upgraded and to make sure that they are dependable for the future use of the town. Other things, our water treatment plant, even though that seems like a fairly new facility, it was built in 1996, it does need some upgrades. The filtration portion of it needs to be changed out, and some of the controls on it are now outdated as technology has changed drastically over the years. And our water distribution system, while a lot of it is in good shape, we do have some sections of town that have pipes that are over 100 years old. So we are concerned about lead joints in some of these older pipes, and also leakage. We'd be losing a lot of treated drinking water into the ground. It's not getting, going through the meters and being paid for. So we're basically treating water and just and whatever's leaking out is being basically wasted out there. So by really working on these types of things, the repairs and maintenance of our distribution systems for water and sewer, we're able to make it a much more efficient system for the town to operate. The Public Works Department has done a great job with our road system. We use a RSMS, which is a road surface management system. It identifies the condition of the roads, the use of the roads, and lays out a plan of how and when they should be rebuilt and the type of construction to be done. It could range anywhere between putting down a shim and overlay on the top surface of the road, or to full what we call box out construction, which is digging the complete road out, installing all new gravel drainage and everything in there, and going forward with it, so you end up with a brand new road altogether there. The town has done a great job with that in the past. It's always been one of our higher percentage passing warrant articles. And it's something that every person in town utilizes almost daily, driving over the roads in and out of town. We also have our solid waste system up the transfer station at the top of the hill, and also building construction. Those are kind of the items that are in my background, kind of in my wheelhouse, that I really bring to the table for the Board of Selectmen. Those are my strengths there. So that kind of gives you a little bit about what I'm about. I strongly believe in asset management plans. We've been working very hard over the last few years in getting our departments to develop asset management plans for their facilities, buildings, equipment, any of the major items that involves the town. So we've got quite a few of them done. There's still quite a few more to do. And what these are great for is that it allows us to plan and budget for the future, so we can have a known quantity of the amount of money we need to raise at a certain time, to keep these places in good operating condition for the town here. So, and I'm also a big supporter of capital reserve funds. These tie into our asset management plans. The fact that they allow us to have these funds set up so that when a larger expense comes along, we don't need to spike the tax rate to purchase whatever it is. In this past year, we were just able to purchase a new ladder truck for the fire department. Major item, well over $1 million, but we had the money sitting there because we've been able to build up this capital reserve fund, knowing that this expenditure was coming along at this time. So we were able to just have a steady annual warrant article to supply the the capital reserve fund with the needed funds, and we're able to purchase that truck when we needed it. So those are great things that I'm a huge supporter of. Asset management plans and capital reserve funds. Also, we've been taking very aggressive approach toward applying for grants. This year alone, we have brought in about $2.35 million in grants to go towards projects in the public works section. And then we also have some public-private partnerships that have also brought in approximately $3 million to go towards projects. I'll go through those in a second here. Some of the grants for our water, wastewater, and stormwater projects, the total projects totaled up about $4.3 million. And our grants and the loan forgiveness program that we applied for account for $2.35 billion of that, which brings it down to only raising $1.95 million from the taxpayers. So the grants and everything there are paying for 55% of the projects, while the town itself is coming up with 45% of the cost. So that's huge. It's really leveraging, stretching our dollars out that we're putting into this by more than 2 to 1. So that's really great that we're able to do that, and it works out great for the town. In the public-private sector, the Pop Whalen is our largest one this year, as everybody knows. The total cost of that project is approximately $6.97 million. The Friends of Pop Whalen are putting in $2.7 million towards it. Our enterprise fund will account for $723,000, leaving $3.55 million for the taxpayers. Another smaller project is the landscaping at the newly renovated and added-on library. The Library Foundation is funding the entire project, which is estimated cost of $250,000. So there is no cost at all to the taxpayers on that. So we've been, as a board, we work very hard to bring these things forward and to really leverage the town's money, and that's one of the things I'm really proud to be part of and moving forward here. So overall, our grants and our public-private partnerships have brought in $5.3 million toward about $11.5 million worth of projects. So almost total together, almost half of what we're proposing is being paid for by grant money and public-private partnerships. So I want to thank the groups that run these foundations and the private associations that raise the money. It's huge, and I think the whole town really appreciates that. Some of the projects in the past for these public-private partnerships have included the town hall, the Abenaki Ski Lodge, the library, obviously now the Pop Whalen, and one coming down the road in the near future, the Libby Museum. So let's see. We have some other, major upcoming projects that I really look forward to being a part of. Obviously, Pop Whalen is coming before the taxpayers this year. Our public safety complex, that's a big one. That's a big one for us here. We started working on this back in 2017. So it's been about 5 years we've been studying this. We've looked at all the properties, all the town-owned properties. We've looked at some private properties that are available, including the old Citizens Bank. And so they put a lot of thought, a lot of effort into what we're proposing right now, which is putting the police station up at the old, where the old water tower was, up on North Main Street. And then separating out the fire and the police, and eventually coming back and renovating the fire department down the road here. Libby Museum is one that's going to be coming up fairly soon to do a renovation, a small addition on there. The Friends of Libby Museum are working very hard to raise 70% of the cost of that project. Some other projects coming up are our dockside parking lot. As everybody's aware, we've been doing a lot of work down there. The finger docks they're being worked on right now as we speak, and they'll be done this spring as far as being all redecked. They look great. In the fall, we're going to work over the commercial docks, which is where the mount comes in, where the Millie B is docked, and kind of rebuilding those structures there, getting those up to snuff there for us. And then in the future, we're looking at redoing the seawall, which comes along by the Dockside Restaurant back towards the bridge in downtown there. That needs a lot of work there. So we're working on the permitting and what we can and can't do there. So let's see, some of the future issues and projects that we're looking into that we really need to address. We have stormwater management. This is an ongoing one. We've been working for a few years now on stormwater treatment before it enters the lake. As everybody's probably aware, we had about a few years ago, we had a cyanobacteria outbreak on Winter Harbor. And a lot of that we've learned has come from runoff from our road system. So Public Works is being very aggressive in plans and providing treatment for the water before it leaves our developments and our roadsides to really hopefully have a positive impact on the lake, because as we know, the lake is our major draw here for the town of Wolfeboro, and we definitely want to protect that. We have water lines, I think I mentioned before, we have water lines that are 100 years old in places up North Main Street and some of the side roads. We're worried about lead in those joints, in some of the joints there, and leakage. So we're starting to put those in the work log to get those replaced and funded and everything. Future growth. We need to really think about the capacities that we have left on our wastewater. Our wastewater system and our water supply system. Our wastewater, the treatment plant, and the RIB system are close to being at capacity. We're allowed about 300. We're permitted for 340,000 gallons per day. We're approaching the 300,000 gallons per day usage right now. So, as I mentioned earlier, this I&I program is very important for the town to draw that number down, so we have room for some future expansion for anybody that wants to have a project or some growth in the town area where the sewer system services. That's going to be very important for future planning. Definitely going to work with the planning board on that. And our water system is not as close to being to capacity as that, but it is something we need to keep our eye on in case we need to find another supply to add into what we already have up there at Upper Beach Pond. Some other future things we need to keep our eyes open on are private roads. We have quite a few private roads that are getting lined up to apply for the town to take them over. We have, right now, our Public Works Department is pretty well maxed out on its maintenance of these roads with the crew that we have, especially in the wintertime for the plowing. Right now, the routes take about a little over 3 hours to do a complete route. So if we keep adding roads in, we're going to be stretching them out even further in their time to do a pass around the whole route. So in a major storm, you could get up 6 or 8 inches of snow back on the ground before they even get back to that road. So we need to really keep that in mind moving forward here. Some of the other things we need to keep on in our front burners are, we have a senior center that's in an older building down there. We need to figure out how we want to address that. And also we need to really look at our building management and our asset management. It all ties into our asset management plans. We use those to prepare our budgets and to also prepare our time frame for when things need to be done. So at the same time that we're not spiking the tax rate. So those are all very important things we need to keep our hands on and our eyes on moving forward here. And that's something I really enjoy being a part of, and I think we do a very good job on that. I really do feel that my background provides me with the ability to address the needs of Wolfeboro and to develop the methods and means to come up with solutions as issues and problems arise. And Wolfeboro is seen as a nice little small community, small town on the shore of Winnipesaukee here. But in reality, it has the infrastructure of a small city. There's a lot of stuff going on in this town that a lot of towns don't offer that the cities do with its with all the utilities. You know, we have our own power company here in town. So there's a lot to keep track of, a lot to keep maintained and up and running and in good shape for the taxpayers. So in closing, I'd say, you know, I've been involved in a lot of projects over the past 9 years, and I'd really like to continue to work for, you know, toward Wolfeboro's future. I appreciate all the support I've had in the past on the board here, and I would ask for your support moving forward and your vote for the election on March 8th. So thank you very much, and have a good day.